Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're live. I don't do this that often, but I thought I'd give it a shot. We were at the track recently, and there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. My friend with the 2019 Mustang, we had him at the track. He didn't run so good, but his car's running good, and he's got it tuned, and I just wanted to talk about it. Stupid fast truck in the house. What's happening, man? Nice to have you here. Uh, there's more people. Come on, guys. Post some comments. Let's engage some conversation. Okay, so anyway, what tonight is all about is the 2019 Mustang GT that we had that was built up at Five Bar Motorsports. It got its new engine and it got a set of long tubes, and now it's got its new tune. Okay, so we got some people coming in. Nova's in the house. Nice to have you here, Nova. New York, what's up? RS3 for me. How's it going? Nice to have you guys in here. So anyway, what I was talking about was the 19. The 19 is all together now. This is a 2019 Mustang GT that broke a piston on its Whipple Stage 2 kit. Very much like the way my car broke a piston. It was almost identical. And Alex K's in the house. He calls my car the Tangerine Terror. It's a good name for the car. But so the 19 is now built up. It's got its live noise engine in it, and it's running really good. And we got it on the dyno and did a dyno tune with it with Lund. So I posted a video about that. A lot of people posted their comments, and I was interested in what you guys had to say about it. So I got some new faces here. Charles Kraft from Ocean City, Maryland. How's it going? DURRS77 is saying hello, Uncle Al. So you must be one of my nieces or nephews. Oh, it's Andrew. Okay, so how's it going, Andrew? Nice to have you here. So so we're talking about the RS3 for me. You have an Uncle Al also. It's cool. Gotta love that, right? But so if any of you guys have any questions about the 2019 with regards to its track performance and how the engine performed on the dyno and so on, feel free to ask me about it. I'd like to talk to you about that. And so Mike is in the house. How's it going, Mike? Nice to have you here. So the other discussion too was the dyno results that we had. The 19 made some pretty good power, I thought. The engine basically was a stock replacement engine. We didn't change the compression or anything like that, but it's got a live noise engine. It's still running 12 to 1. So RS3 for me says, got my Sport Cup 2 tires. Nice. Those are really good tires for street tires. Be Lightning in the house. How's it going? So so getting back to the dyno charts, in that introduction video that I just put out a couple hours ago, I put in there a dyno chart for everybody to look at, and that was basically the dyno curves, the power curves for the 2019 Mustang, and also the power curves for my 2018. And what I found very interesting is that the peak power for both cars was about the same. From about 6,500 RPM up, the power numbers were very close. The 19 only made 8 more peak horsepower than my Stage 1 did with the Whipple tune. But if you look at the graph, everything below 6,500 RPM, the Lund tune in the 2019 made a ton more power. All that power under the curve. And I drove that car the other day with the owner of that car. He's a friend of mine, and he needs tires. He's running a set of 305s, but they're the Mickey Thompson street tires, and they don't offer any grip at all. But when he gets the drag radials like I have, then we're going to get to the track and do a heads-up run. That's a little bit more of a fair race, because on street tires he just couldn't keep up. He couldn't get any traction. But if you look at the power curves of my car, from say just off idle to about 6,500 RPM, I am seriously down on power with the Whipple tune. So, eventually I'm going to have to go for tuning. Eventually I'm going to have to do something. But, I want to get that 7 seconds or a 699 pass on the Whipple setup, the 50 states legal setup, and then go from there. So I'm probably going to head to the track one more time. I don't know whether I'm going to be at the quarter mile or at the eighth mile, but I want to get to the track one more time, track test the car, and see if I can just get that 7 second quarter mile. Actually, 7 second eighth mile. But there is a quarter mile track up in Bradenton, and I got some friends trying to get me to go up there. But I sort of just want to get my pass at the eighth mile first. So Stupid Fast Truck asked me what size pulley do I both have. Well, the 19 has the stage 2 size pulley that comes with the stage 2 kit. It's 3875, and I'm running the 4-inch pulley. If you look at the Whipple's chart, the 4-inch pulley that I have will make about 9 pounds of boost, and the 3875 will make about 10 pounds of boost. But the 19 has long tubes, so without the restriction, he's probably not even making 10 pounds of boost. So who else do we have in here? So Charles Kraft has asked me, what is my best quarter mile time? I have not been at the quarter mile yet. I've been racing on the eighth mile down in Immokalee. The reason for that is a couple of reasons. For one, I haven't done anything like this in 25 years, so I felt that an eighth mile was probably a better place for me to start. Finding out that the track prep down there is not all that good, so I can't get the 60-foot times that my car would really get on a good, at a good track. But I'm not yet at the quarter mile. But based on the ETs and the mile an hour, a lot of people are saying that my car would possibly crack the 10s. But based on the ET at 705, probably just a very low 11. If I can get a better 60-foot time, I could probably get 7 seconds flat or a 699. So who else do we have here? Be Real is in the house. Rob, how's it going? Nice to have you in here. For those of you who don't know Be Real, that's a friend of mine. His name is Rob. He's got a stage 2 Whipple on his car. And from what I understand, he's doing pretty good. We've seen a couple of cars break pistons, some of the cars that I featured on my channel, my car, the 19. But Rob over at Be Real, he's not having that problem at all. So there's really no explaining why some of these engines are breaking pistons. The owner of the 19 suspected that his engine might have been hurt before he even put the Whipple on the car. So, there's really no way to know. We could speculate, but there's no way to be sure. So RS3 is giving me thumbs up. Thanks. It's always nice to, that people like what I'm doing. And that's why I do it. I do this because, it's nice to have a sense of camaraderie with everybody. And there's a lot of people, we all have common interests, people of all ages, because obviously I'm probably one of the oldest guys doing this. But I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing the same things that you guys do, and it's a lot of fun. So we have in the house Tuning by James. For those of you who don't know Tuning by James, James is actually somebody that I've become well acquainted with. He's a very good tuner, a guy who's tuning Festita, and he tunes on his own. And he's a really good guy. I've had lots of conversations with him, and he's helped me out a lot when it comes to a lot of things. Many of the decisions that I have to make. When my motor went south on me last year, I needed really somebody to help me, and James helped me a lot. So thanks, James. It's nice to have you in the house. Jeff Hager, how's it going, Jeff? You got rained out on track day today. That's too bad. Jeff Hager, guys, is a guy. He's got an 18 Mustang with a stage 1, just like mine, and he's running in the 10s. So he must have got a much better tune from Whipple than I did, because his car's running better than mine, and he has not broken engine. So there's another example of a Whipple car that's holding up with the stock engine. Miles Hiles is saying, I'll get there. Yeah, I'll get there. I know I get impatient, but sometimes it's tough. You want to get to the track and have it happen right away. Okay, so some of you guys talking to each other. Be Real says, don't say that things are going good. I don't want to jinx you, right? Knock on wood. Actually, that sometimes that holds true. Everything's good until Al says you don't have a problem, and then as soon as I say that, you have a problem. So I retract it. Everything I said about Be Real, I take it back. Where I am, how's it going? Nice to have you in the house. Will I ever do nitrous? Good question. There was a time with my S197 that I was considering a JMS nitrous kit. There was a while there. I don't know if they're still selling it, but JMS has a dry kit that's hidden that you can't see. And I was considering doing that, and I was on the verge of doing it until the 18s came out, and I saw the 10-speed automatic and all of that, and I just dropped everything with the S197, and I went to the 18. Who else we got? Tony by James. Yeah, thanks, James. I appreciate that. You are a very big help, and of course, I'll be working with you in the future. So I see Nova Castile is a very popular person. If you guys don't know Nova, she's Jeremy from Pony 1992. That's his better half, and she's got a channel going. She's building up an early Nova, put an LS motor in it. Check her out. Subscribe to her channel. She's doing some really cool things, and I think you're doing a really cool thing there, Nova. Just digging in and getting into that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. So Charles Kraft says, you believe I could do 10s at over 130? Maybe. If I could get a 10 with this Whipple tune, I'll be happiest guy alive. If I could get that, then I'm going to go for some tuning and try to get some real power out of my car, because the Whipple tune is really holding me back. Okay, so who else we got? No problem, Nova. I think you're doing a great job. Mike Hall is in the house. Nice to have you, Mike. You're a faithful follower. I see you on the channel a lot. It's nice to have you here. RS3 for me says I'll easily be in the 10s. My mile an hour and my ET are sort of in different zip codes. I'm doing over 105 miles an hour in the 8, but my 60-foot times and my ETs are just not that good. The mile an hour is telling a story about the horsepower that I'm making, but the ETs are just terrible. The 60-foot times are terrible, mostly because of the track prep. So what else we got? Rocket 19. Did I get an updated tune? Yes, I did. I did get an updated tune. That's what I'm running on. And it did seem to run better than the original tune I got, but it's really not as good as a custom tune. When I get around to custom tuning it, I'm sure it'll run a lot better. Miles Hiles asked me if I still have the warranty. The answer is no. I had it for a year. Within the first year, I broke the motor. I collected on the warranty, but I started racing it. And once I started racing it, I avoided any remainder of the warranty. So, that's the way it goes sometimes. If you want to race, warranties are usually not part of the equation unless you've got an old car that doesn't have a warranty anyway. I got the Whipple warranty, and it was a good thing I did, because it basically covered most of the new engine install. Like if I say I wanted to put a stock engine in the car, what they paid me on the warranty would have covered that. But I went with a better engine, so it didn't actually cover all of it, but it covered most of it. So it was a good thing I had that warranty. So Richard Mullen, nice to have you in the house. Compression test on all cylinders. Check if the rings have blow by. Compression test on all the cylinders to check if ring has. Well, Richard, I don't have the stock engine in the car anymore. I have a Livenoise engine, but it's not a bad idea to check the compression on the motor. She's running great, but I may do that at some point and just check it out. Rocket 19, good deal. Am I missing something? Did you have more engine issues? No, I am not having any more engine issues. My Livenoise engine is spot on. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It sounds great. It's running great. I'm turning good times at the track. I'm just not quite getting the ET that I want to. So Mike Hall asked me, what's my ideal track time? Well, my ideal time, what I want to run is to get a 7.0 or a 699 or a 698. It's not going to be tough with the Whipple tune. The track prep at the 8th mile is not so good, but maybe I'll get lucky one time and I'll hit it. And then we're going to bring it to the 1/4 mile and see what it could do there. Andrew says, when am I getting a supercar? I don't think I'm going to get a supercar. I think the car I have is about as super as I could get, like a Ford GT. Yeah, I don't have a money tree in the backyard where I could just go pick the money off the tree, but I would love to have a Ford GT. There are some guys in town that have them, and I video them when I get out to car shows. But not likely that I'm going to have one of those, bro. Todd Ray, you assume I'm running the 550 for the Whipple? Yes, I'm running five W50 motor oil. Basically, in the Whipple instructions, they highly recommend 5W50, and I've been running it ever since. Alex K, nice to have you in the house. Had a stock Roush tune, went with the VMP 760 kit, runs way better. See how much improvement when I run the Ocala half mile. Yeah, Ocala half mile. That's actually an event that I might be able to get to. But like you say, your Roush tune was soft. My Whipple tune is soft. I really need to get custom tuning, but custom tuning is a little bit pricey. So I don't want to just go for custom tuning with the stage 1 hardware. I want to step up to stage 2 hardware and then go for custom tuning, and just go that route and not have to tune it over and over again. So I'm thinking of tuning it for stage 2 hardware, and then once I track test that and do all I could do there, then I'm gonna maybe go to do some E85 stuff after that. Charles Kraft asked me, do I feel like the factory Coyote engines are not reliable unless we leave them stock? I can't say that they're unreliable. The only thing that I could say is on a couple of occasions, myself and my friend with the 19, we had problems. We broke pistons. And there are a few other people out there that have had cylinder scorings and typewriter tick and all of that kind of stuff. But really, overall, I'm going to say no. I don't think that they're unreliable, but there are some reliability issues, but it's a small percentage. I don't think there's really that many people that are having those problems. RS3 for me wants to do the half a mile. I bet you do. I'd like to try that. I got to a half a mile event down in Immokalee about a year ago, but it was so windy. I took a bunch of video, but I couldn't post it because the wind noise was so bad in the video that I just couldn't do anything with it. But they do a half mile event down here, and I'm going to try to get to that. Rocket 19 asked me, is Smokey getting better? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you him. He's right here. Okay, guys. Say hello to Smoke. Smokey is feeling much, much better. He's just a little pissed because he was sleeping, but I want him to look at the camera. He lost weight. He went down to 16 pounds. And since we've gotten him on his medicine, we had to pull his teeth. He actually lost 5 teeth. One of them fell out, and the other 4 were pulled the other day. And he's been on medication, and he's doing much, much better. It looks like he's going to make it. Mike Cole asked me, what's my favorite classic car? Guys aren't going to believe this, but it's the first car that I ever had, a 1969 GTO. I really wish that I could get my GTO back. Not likely to happen. A 69 GTO that's in good condition is a lot of money, and I'm not likely to spend that kind of money on a car like that. I would rather work with the new cars. But the 69 GTO, I had one. It was not a Judge. It had hideaway headlights. It was really cool, and I really loved that car. Okay, so what else? RS3 for me says the Roush tunes don't allow for upgrades. Yeah, you pretty much got to get away from the Roush tune if you want it to run better. I mean, those cars run pretty good, but if you really want to get the potential out of that car, you're going to have to go with custom tuning. Rocket 19, why was he sick? He had tooth decay, and we did not know. And his teeth were hurting him, and it affected his kidneys, and that's how he got sick. Once we solved the problem with the teeth and got rid of the infection, he's getting better. So we're really happy. He's only 10 years old. We expect to have him for a while. Oh, so I see Pony 1992 is in the house. How's it going there, Jeremy? Nice to have you here. Richard Muller asked me, did the Killer Chiller work out? It absolutely did. I did a before and after dyno results with the Killer Chiller, and I did something like 610 to the rear wheels without the chiller and 670 to the wheels with the chiller, both on a 90-degree day. So the chiller made a huge difference. X in the house, how's it going? Let me see who else is here. You guys talking to each other? Yeah, everybody hit the like button. So anyway, the subject of conversation was that I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the past few videos that I posted after I did my last live stream. And I showed you the broken piston in the 2019. We did a first start on that car, and we did a dyno run on that car. And there was another thing that I showed you guys that I haven't really been talking about too much, but in at 5 Bar Motorsports, we have a build that's going to take place probably next month, and I can't actually tell you what vehicle it is, but it's going to have a Gen 3 Coyote in it. The motor came into the shop. It's my old motor that came out of my car. It's been sleeved, and it's got really high strength parts in the bottom end. This is an engine that can handle well over 1,000 horsepower, whatever you want to throw at it, whatever amount of boost you want to throw at it, this motor can handle it. It's been sleeved. It's got diamond pistons in it. It's got high strength wrist pin, mainly I-beam rods, and all ARP hardware, on the rod bolts and the main studs. So this is a vehicle that I'm going to be featuring as soon as the car comes into the shop. Or I shouldn't even say that. It might not be a car. We're not actually exactly sure. There's two vehicles it could possibly go in, but that build is going to take place at 5 Bar, and that's a car that I'm going to be featuring at some point over the next 5 to 6 weeks. So where I am, asked me, what will be your favorite car to beat in a race? I don't know. I really, I'm really not competitive that way. I don't think about going to the track thinking that there's somebody that I want to beat. Usually, that mindset takes place when somebody shows up talking smack. Somebody shows up to me talking smack and stuff like that. Well, then that's a guy I want to beat. But as of right now, there isn't anybody out there talking any kind of nonsense like that. I'm just sort of track testing my car to see what I could get out of it in its current form, and then move on with mods after that and just see how it goes. And basically, this is, my whole point when I bought this car and started to do this was to show everybody what you could do with just a basic Mustang GT. Not so much to make it a race car, but to make it a hot street car that runs on pump gas, because that's basically what my car is. I'm on pump gas, and I'm trying to crack the 10s with it, and do that on pump gas with the Whipple tune and the 50 states legal certification that it has, just to show that that's what can be done. And then after that, go into some other things to make more power. But always keep it streetable, always maintain the fact that the mission statement with this car is that it's a street car, not a race car. So what else we got? After stage 2 in E85, what's next? Well, probably another car. If I actually get that far with this car, then and I want to do something else, that's probably where it'll land. An E85 setup in this car could actually make a lot of power, so I'm not likely to go beyond that. But I got the Gen 2, and I have some real good possibilities to build up that Gen 2, and that is where I would go after I'm finished with my 2018, unless something else comes up. Underfed Coyote is in the house. What's happening, Fran? Whoever's in the other lane, right? That's a good answer. I'm gonna remember that, Pony. That's a good one. Let's see who else we got. Underfed, you're a popular guy. Everybody knows you. So what else? So you guys are talking to each other. Anybody have any questions? Is anything anybody wants to answer? Anybody wants to ask me? I got 35 people in the house here. Ask me some questions. Is there anything that you want to know about what I'm doing, what I'm planning, some of the things I've seen at 5 Bar? Because there's a lot of cool stuff down there, guys. It's not all Mustangs. There's a lot of other vehicles down there that they build. And if you guys haven't noticed, the owner of that shop, Joe, is a genius when it comes to building turbos. Turbo kits. He's got his 3-valve. It's nothing more than, I think, an '07 Mustang GT, and it's a stock blocks. stock throttle body. He's got an 84 millimeter turbo on it. The thing makes over 1,000 horsepower to the rear wheels, and he goes out and runs, 8 second quarter miles. He's looking to, to make the car go even faster. He just put a new transmission in it, and I think he's going to be at the track in a few days to test it. Let me see. Andrew asked me about collaborating with other YouTubers around me. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really made any contacts with anybody around me. Alex Flores is over there on the East Coast. I did hook up with him about a year and a half ago. We dynoed my car. There's other people in the area. When I go to the track, and sometimes when I go out to Home Depot and stuff like that, people recognize me from the channel. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you," and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, it's nice to do this. You meet a lot of people, and some of them are local, and you run into them, and that's a feel good situation when that happens. So Geo1 asked me, where in Florida am I? Well, I'm in Southwest Florida. I'm on the West Coast, south of Tampa is where I am, and this is a subtropical climate down here. It actually is pretty warm for a good number of months out of the year. But at this time of the year, it's actually kind of nice. I want to show you this. Can you guys see that? It's 71 degrees outside. It's about 76 degrees in here. You can see behind me back there, the windows are open. I'm just sitting here in a t-shirt. And it's like this for probably the next 4 or 5 months before it starts getting hot again. So I escaped the winters. We never have any snow. We never have any frost. But we do have to deal with, 92, 93 degree days for a good 6 months out of the year. Let me see. Rocket 19 asked me, did I track the car without the killer chiller? No, I did not. How is the green Gator? It's my daily. The green Gator, that's the Gen 2. Actually, the AC compressor broke on the Gen 2. It's going into 5-bar on Monday to get the air conditioning, the new compressor installed. It actually was delivered to the house today. I got it from Rock Auto. Great deal. A couple of days you have it. You save a lot of money. So let me see. I'm getting a little off track here. Yeah, Fran says that my car's a street car for as long as I drive it on the street. Yeah, I mean, I drive my Gen 3 all over the place. It runs on pump gas. I gas it up anywhere I want. I put gas in it and I drive it. The only problem I have with it these days is taking the drag radials on and off. That gets to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. What vehicles do I like at 5-bar? Well, 5-bar had a car there. It's a Fox body. It's probably a 91 or 92. It's a black notchback. It's got a Dart 347 in it. It had one big 77 millimeter turbo on it. The thing was putting down like 1,000 horsepower to the wheels, 1,000 pound-feet of torque. It was absolutely insane how much power that thing was making. And I have a clip of that car up on my Facebook. If you want to see what that car looks like, go to my Facebook, Al Coyote Car Guy, and just scroll down. It's a little black Fox body. The thing was absolutely insane. So Rob B. Real asked me, discuss my pre-launch setup at the Strip. Well, that's sort of an evolving thing. I'm kind of learning how to do that. Basically, what I've learned at the Immokalee Speedway is that you got to get your tires really hot. If I don't really smoke the tires, I'm not going to get any grip. Track prep is not that good. Your best pass is usually when you first get there, and then after people drop water and oil on the track, you start going slower and slower. But I'll get the tires really hot. I'll try to find a groove because there's a groove there. I'm good for driving through the staging lanes and having to back up. But then once I'm staged, I basically just hold my foot on the brake and bring my RPMs up to about 2,000, 2,100 RPMs, wait for the lights to come down and just put my foot to the floor. What I will say too about once I launch and get going, and after this first 60 foot, I basically have my foot to the floor. I'm just sort of waiting for something to happen. The torque is just not there. Once the RPM start to build, I can feel the thrust a little bit, but off the bottom, the car is very weak. But launching it, that's pretty much what it comes to. I just pull into the staging lights, hold it at about 2,000 RPM, maybe a little more, and just wait for the bulb. I'm leaving on the green. I'm not trying to, cut a light just yet. But that's how I'm doing it. And I did only get 60-foot time, a good time once at 1.67 seconds. But for some reason, I didn't get the ET on that run. So I don't know what gives there. How did I get hooked up with Fibar? Rocket 19 asked me. Well, that was an interesting story. I got my car tuned by Lund. I got a E85 tune in it when I first got the car, and it was great. The car ran spectacular with that tune, and I wanted to dyno it, and I didn't know where to go to get a dyno, to find a dyno. So I Googled it, and Advanced Auto Parts came up saying something about dyno worker. Well, the Advanced Auto Parts didn't have a dyno, but I called them anyway. And a kid answered the phone there and said, "Oh, if you need a dyno, just go to Fibar." Well, who's that? He told me who they are. He gave me their number. I called them, and that's how I hooked up with them. And they dynoed my car, and I've made friends with them ever since. It's an evolving thing. They let me in the shop. I stay out of everybody's way. Make sure that I don't distract anybody. They let me do video. I can promote the shop. They're getting calls. There are some jobs that are showing up there from people who are watching the channel. So it's a really good relationship. It's working out real good, and they got some really cool stuff down there. Let me tell you. It's a little hard sometimes with the channel because my channel seems to be mostly Mustang people. When I post things that are non-Mustang content, that doesn't get a lot of views and people aren't really that interested. But I post it anyway because it's cool. Whatever is cool and whatever is a build, that's what I'm going to post. And whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't. So let me see. Okay, I'm missing a lot of comments here. Okay, Scott Weinstein in the house. What's happening, Scott? Is Sheen 22? Am I pronouncing that right? Nice to have you in the house. Yes, Fort Myers. I live in Fort Myers. What's with the room? You don't have a nicer place in your house. This is just my man cave. We just moved in. I don't really have anything furnished yet. I got some, Christmas presents back there that need to be wrapped. Just hanging out in here. The place needs to be painted. It's just not ready yet. Geo1 says 28 degrees in Chicago. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that. Hang in there. Better days are coming. Fran Underfed asked me, what's my thoughts on a GT500? Worth the money? Personally, I don't think so. I think it's a cool car. There's no doubt about it. It's a great engineered piece of machinery, but it's very expensive. And how many people are going to want that? There'll be people who buy them, and that's cool. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I think that the majority of people are not going to, look for a GT500. If they want something that's got that much power, it's very easy to buy, a Coyote-powered car, a Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. Put whatever boost of choice that you want to put on it, and you can make power just the same. Is it as good of a car engineering-wise? No, it's not. A generic Mustang GT is not a GT500, but still, how many people really need that? So, or have to have it. You got to have pretty deep pockets to buy a car like that. That's really not a car for me. Andrew says hurricanes. Yeah, we got hurricanes once in a while. You got to prepare for them. This house was built to the most recent hurricane standards, so we feel like we're pretty well covered. And we're inland. We're not that close to the coast. It's sometimes it's a little dangerous to be close to the coast. We're actually not that close, so we're a little protected that way. So IB Dam, that's an interesting name. Happy holidays. 18BB is stock. Thinking about going 800, 900 daily. Should I start with suspension or engine mods? Starting with suspension is a good idea. If you have a plan and you have it all mapped out and you know exactly what you're going to do from A to Z, it's probably best to start with the suspension and work your way forward. 800, 900, is that to the wheels, what you're trying to put down? 800, 900 is a lot for a stock engine, so you might want to consider what you might need to do there. Um, if you're going to start with suspension, think about some Steeder parts for the back, stop the hop kits and things like that to stabilize the IRS in the back. I see you say you got an 18. That's what I would suggest. And at that power level, you're probably going to need a one-piece drive shaft. I would say put that in before you break the stock one. It's nice to have the stock one not broken in your garage rather than, something that's broken and useless. And then move on to the motor, whatever kind of boost you want to go with. 900 to the wheels is very possible with a supercharger, and they keep coming out with new ones. This new Odin blower is pretty potent. They're a little late to market with it, but of the, some of the blowers out there, I would say that's probably the best one. So what else we got? Let me see. All right, Pony, we'll see you later. Nice to have you here. Tuning by James says AC compressors are common on the S550. Yeah, I could vouch for that. My car's only 5 years old and it broke an AC compressor. Miles Hiles, snow, had your share of it. I bet you did. Miles, I think you're in Pennsylvania somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Insane 22. Did I say that right? Suspension, then engine. I agree, 100%. Spinning ain't winning. That's so true. Voodoo 350. What's happening? Nice to have you in the house. Jeff Hager has got future performers doing a photo shoot of his Mustang and his Red Eye 150. Can't wait to see the pictures. Jeff Hager is on Instagram, Nevada County Coyote, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff. He's got a 18 Mustang, Whippled, stage 1, going really fast on the stock engine, and an F-150 also with a stage 2 Whipple on it. Both vehicles are running insanely fast. I be damned. Okay, you guys talking to each other? All right. This thing is giving me trouble like it always does. Okay, Underfed Coyote with the super chat. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. It all goes back into the channel. Thank you very much. Let me see. Al, you going to do better exhaust on your car headers or anything like that? I'm not really planning anything like that. I'm going to work with the stock exhaust and go as far as I can with that before I take that off. Because if I start messing with the exhaust, going with long tubes and stuff like that, to me that qualifies as that as a race car. And this is a street car build. It's not a race car build. When I decide to change that is when I'll actually get away from the stock exhaust. Ivy Dam says you were going to buy John Lund Junior's or John Lund Senior's 18 GT last year. Good guys. They are good guys. We don't have the luxury of being in contact with those guys. We see them on YouTube. Alex Flores works for Lund. He's a good guy. John Lund Jr. is a good guy. I've had emails back and forth with him. He's a really nice guy. And he showed a lot of class, because when I was data logging my car, I screwed it up. Every way that you could screw it up, I screwed it up. And he showed a lot of class with having the patience with me with his emails, explaining to me how to do it. He had the patience. We got it all right, and it all worked out in the end. So they're all a bunch of good guys over there. If you want, remote tuning, custom tuning, or just a tune for your car, you can't go wrong with them. They'll do a really good job for you. There's no doubt about that. Now, Rocket 19 says, I'm the mascot. Alex K. All right. Nice to have you in the house. I'll see you next time. Anir Edison. How did you mention already who you're going with for the stage 2 tunes? Does that mean you are getting a bigger throttle body and different intake? Well, I have a Whipple on the car, so I'm not going to be changing the intake. I'm not going to be using Whipple stage 2 tune, if that's what you're asking me. I'm going to go with custom tuning. There's a lot of good tuners out there. I haven't 100% decided who's going to tune the car. But when I do get away from the package that I have right now, which is Whipple Stage 1 with Whipple's tune. I'm not going to tune it with the Whipple Stage 1 hardware. I'm going to tune it with Stage 2 hardware. So we're going to, have to get a better fuel pump for it. We're going to pulley down and get the 132 elliptical throttle body, and then we're going to tune it with that hardware on it to see how we can do. And all on 93 octane. Like I say, this is a street car. We're working with 93, and that's where we're headed in the next phase of mods. And then after that, we're gonna go with E85 stuff. Maybe at that point you'd see a set of long tubes on it. We'll see what happens. So Mike asked me, what do I think of the Mach-E 0 to 60 times 3 seconds? I think that's awesome. Electric cars make a lot of torque, and it's a simple fact. If the Teslas, actually, I had a guy. I was out in my Gen 2, and some guy with a Tesla pulled up next to me, and I wasn't even paying attention to him. I didn't even know he was there. When the light turned green, the guy checked out, like he wanted to, like he was racing me. And I'm drinking my coffee and stuff. I'm not paying any attention to him. That thing took off like a rocket ship, and quiet. You didn't hear a sound. So the Mach-E going 3 seconds, this is a car that's engineered to do that. It's going to be tough when electric cars come out and they start comparing that to, the cars that we've been building, trying to make 900 horsepower. Those electric cars are going to be impressive. We're going to have a hard time keeping up with them. So let me see. Let me see if I can get this thing to scroll, because I keep losing my place. Here we go. Okay. Cheesy Zill. Did I say that right? Have you looked at getting some skinnies for the front? What about the rear seats? Yeah. I think about those kinds of things, because putting skinnies on the front, yeah, less unsprung weight, less rolling resistance, and all of the things that happen when you do that, and then lightening up the car. The thing is, it's a street car. This is a car that my mission statement with this car is that it's a street car. This has to be a car that my wife drives. So however we drive it on the street is how I'm going to bring it to the track. And that's basically to show, all you guys, and basically because that's the way I like to have my cars, and to show you guys what it's like to have a car that runs good on the street and how well it runs on the track. Will I go with skinnies and lighten up the car? Yeah, maybe at some point, but as in the near future, probably not. I'm probably going to hold off on stuff like that. So Scott says, if I didn't mess with you, it wouldn't be right. It's true. Scott Weinstein's a longtime friend. I met him through another friend in college, and it's too bad, Scott, that you're on the West Coast and you're running your business in Florida, because it would be nice to have you here. I'd like to put you in the car and see how you could take it down the track. Miles Hiles. I like Mustangs, but I like the car shows. Keep them coming. Yeah, Miles, I've been a little busy. I haven't been able to get to the car shows, but car shows are real popular down here this time of the year. And yeah, we'll be down there. I'll be damned. Did I have the Lund tune before the supercharger? Yes, I did. I put the 85 tune in the car, and it was a tremendous difference when I put that Lund tune in there. That was my first experience with using an N-Gauge and data logging the car. But once we got all of that worked out, John Lund Jr. wrote me a phenomenal tune, and the car ran great. Canadian Cruising in the house. Nice to have you here. Yeah, friend reminds me there's 35 people in here. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So B Real says, look at the 3875 pulley, help you build boost sooner, need to log to ensure that you have enough fuel. With the stock pump, stock throttle body will limit you from needing the DW 400. Yeah, I'm considering just putting a 3875 pulley on my car the way it sits. I've already been in touch with Whipple, and they say you could do it, but you got to data log it to make sure. So I'm considering that. That's something that I just might do. Everybody knows Canadian Cruising. That's right. He's a real popular guy. I'd be damned. 800 crank. Okay. That's roughly where I'm at now. I make somewhere between 750 and 800 to the crank. So my car is a good example of what you might see in a situation like that. Custom tuning would make my car much better than it is right now, especially on the coming off the bottom. But 800 crank, that's easily obtainable, and you should have a lot of fun with that. So Halo Nugent, did I say that right? Nice to have you in the house. Uh, am I going to put my car in the car show? Yeah, when I go to the car shows, a lot of times I bring my car. I got to clean it up because I don't spend a lot of time cleaning my cars. I work a lot, but yeah, I'll polish it up and bring it to the show. Waylon Axe is in the house. How's it going? Ford Performance G-Force IRS. That's good hardware right there. Todd Ray, am I running the stock half shafts? No, I put Ford racing axles in it a long time ago. When I had the E85 tune in it, I had real bad wheel hops, so I brought it down to Steeda, and we put some stop the hop kit parts in it, and I did the axles while we were down there. So this stupid thing keeps. Okay. Voodoo 350 says Brent Speed and I believe the GT350 just had a Whipple. Okay. Carol the vlogger says hello. How's it going, Carol? You guys are talking to each other. Hey, Desmond, I'm Gun and 60 is in the house. How's it going, Des? How's everything going with your new job? I trust everything is going well, and I think that's awesome. And I agree with you. Steeda parts are the best. Hey, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody else. There's a lot of good parts out there, but I have been buying parts from Steeda since Steeda became a thing. Back in the early 80s or something like that, I'm reading these Ford magazines. We didn't have any internet or anything back then. All we had was, Mustang magazines, and we would read through the advertisements. I see an advertisement show up for Steeda, and I don't remember what year it was. I think it was around 1983 or something like that. I had a Fox body, and I needed a radiator. Okay, and they had these brass 3-core radiators that fit the Fox body. I must have been the first person to call them. In fact, when I was down there, they actually remembered that. The salesman that was working there remembered that phone call. So that was really cool. And I, as far as suspension parts go, I will only go with Steeda. Nothing bad about anybody else, but for me, it's Steeda for the win. So what else? What's up, Des? Yeah, Doug Redmond, how's it going? Streetcar in Florida, E85, we have it everywhere. Yes, we do. There's stations popping up all over with E85. I'm told, however, not all of that E85 is good E85. You have to check it to check the ethanol content, but it's everywhere. And that, if anybody who's thinking about coming down here, maybe moving down here, there's plenty of E85 around here. Okay. Voodoo 350 is shooting for 800 wheel. Yeah, that's a stout number. Voodoo 350. Do you have a GT 350? Is that how you came up with that name? My build is more of a course racing. Would the stop the hop kit be necessary? That is a very good question. I would call Steeda and ask them, because they're road racing experts. If you've ever seen Steeda's race car and their drag car, they know what they're doing when it comes to suspension. So to get all those questions answered, call Steeda. They'll clear up any questions that you have. James Williams in the house. How's it going, James? Voodoo 350 says you're a BMR guy. Hey, look, that's okay. BMR's got good stuff. I understand. Richard Hirsch, have you had any Whipple tune issues? I haven't had any issues, quote unquote. I haven't had a tune from Whipple where there was any problem, say shifting problem or drivability problem. I've never had that. The only problem I have with Whipple tune is that they don't make that much power. That's the only problem with the Whipple tune. Desmond says stop the hop kit helps on the road course also. Okay, good to know, Des. I read them. Yeah, check them out. They'll help you out. Talk to Rodney. Rodney down at Stita in Pompano Beach. He's the guy that I talk to, and he's the nicest guy in the world. He will help you out every which way. Voodoo, you got a 16 Shelby GT350. Now, Voodoo, they changed the engine. They did something with the engine at one point. You got the early engine, if I'm not mistaken. Flag me on that. IBDM will do crank gear. Thanks for the info. Yeah, crank gear and oil pump gears. I did that on mine. So, okay. Okay, am I at the end of the comments? Okay. Yeah, that's for Rodney. He's a good guy. Brian is also a nice guy. If you get Brian, he's a good guy to talk to also. Yeah, tuning by James. Yeah, Rodney definitely is the guy. He's a good guy down at Pompano. So, any other questions, guys? There's 33 people in here. I've been on here for not even an hour yet. Any questions that you want to ask me? Any of the cars that I've featured at 5 Bar or the 19 Mustang? In my little intro, I showed the run that we did down at the Immokalee Speedway, and the 19 just couldn't keep up because he was on street tires and I was on drag radials, and I was a little bit more experienced at the track than he was. It was his first run. He couldn't get any grip, and I just pulled a Linda Ronstadt on him. Does anybody know what a Linda Ronstadt is? Any of you guys ever heard that you pulled a Linda Ronstadt on somebody? All right, post your comments if you know what a Linda Ronstadt is. Post your comments. Let me know. But I totally took off on the 19. It was mostly traction related. When he gets a set of drag radials, it should be a pretty good race. My guess is he's probably going to overpower the tires a little bit. So I'm going to 60. You got the vertical links. That's good. Halo Nigel, you say no. You don't. Does that mean that you don't know what a Linda Ronstadt is? Stupid fast truck. You know what a Linda Ronstadt is, huh? Okay. Post in there what that is. Tell everybody. Okay. People are asking me. Miles, no, you don't know what pulling a Linda Ronstadt is? Okay. Halo Nigel says some singer. Yes, she was a singer. She was a country singer in the 70s. So Realm Life asked me, do I think 12-to-1 compression is the reason Gen 3 keeps popping on pump? Well, I don't think that's the reason why they're popping. And I don't know how many of them are popping. I've only seen a couple, but the 12-to-1 engines are octane dependent. There's no doubt about it. If you could get more octane to them than what pump gas offers you, whether it be some kind of octane booster or some race gas, they will run better. There's no doubt about it. And that's why they run so good on the 85. If you can fuel it, get the fuel system that you need and the injectors that you need for 85, they run very good on the 85. And the 12-to-1 is the reason. Okay, so Stupid Fast Truck says Blue Bayou. Okay. That's the song, the name of the song that Linda Ronstadt was one of her most popular songs. You guys want to look it up on YouTube? It's on YouTube. Linda Ronstadt, Blue Bayou. So when you pull Linda Ronstadt on somebody, it's because I blew by you. That's the way it works. Blew his doors off, blew by you. That's what Linda Ronstadt was. You gotta, I think it was a period specific thing. Back in the 70s and 80s, that was a common phrase. It's not commonly used today. Okay, what do we got? Mike says, if I change the tune, will I still be covered under the warranty? No. With the Whipple Stage 1 kit, you can't really change anything. They don't want you to change anything. I think the only thing they let you do is put a cat back on it. That's about it. You can't change the tune. You can't change the intake. Put a different cold air intake on it. You can't pull it down. You can't tune it. You can't do anything, or they won't. And you can't race it. They even have limits on the tires that you could put on it if you want to maintain your stage one warranty. So it's very limited. If you're thinking about going stage two, download the warranty paperwork and read it. Read every line before you take that route. But I'll tell you, it saved me. I got the warranty, and it's a good thing I did. Okay. Toy Doctor 88, how's it going? You got a chiller on your 18 Roush supercharged also? Your AC doesn't work that well. Has my AC been affected? All right, something's going on here. All right, apparently I'm not getting into all the questions. So, Thai Doctor 88, your AC is not working. I'm not having that experience. My vent temperatures were have shown at as low as 33 degrees, and I'm not having those problems at all. I don't know what's wrong. You might want to take it to your AC company, whoever's doing your AC, and make sure that they got the right amount of Freon in it, because it sounds like there's something wrong. I'm not having that experience. Stupid Fed Truck says Johnny Carson said it first. Is that how that happened with the Blue Bayou? You remember now, Miles? I think you were around during that time, right? Fran says piston failures aren't caused by blowers. Um, yeah, Fran's car blew up without a blower. So there are some problems. Some people are having problems. Fran's a good example of somebody who had a problem even without a blower with the Gen 3. Halo Nigel, did I say that right? Uh, my mod should be on my list. I have 19 people, 1-800 miles. Yeah, dude. Break it in nice. Put a few thousand miles on it. Make sure it's okay. And before you put boost on it, do a compression test. Do a bore scope. Make sure the engine's healthy before you do that. Where I am, do I have any regrets with the car so far? The only regret that I have is that I probably moved too soon on the Whipple. I probably should have checked that engine out first before I put the Whipple on it. There's a very good possibility the engine was hurt before I put the Whipple on it. Yeah, Miles, you do remember, right? So Realm Life asked me the cost for the killer chiller install. It's going to depend on your shop, but it's really not that much. The hardest part is the high pressure line. Mine came with compression couplings, and I would say do not use them, or unless Whipple can send you the pre-made hose that has the T all welded in. They have some better compression fittings. They say that they work better, but I would say that that's where the expense is, and shouldn't. The Freon is actually the biggest expense, but should cost you anywhere from say 4 to 6, maybe $800 tops. It's really not that much for what you get out of it, because it makes a big difference in power. Can you give around? Oh, okay, I did that already. Jeff Hagan doesn't have problems with his AC and the killer chiller either. Yeah, Jeff. Jeff, everything goes good for you. You don't seem to have any problems. So a lot of us have problems. Jeff has no problems. RS3 for me, you're back. Nice to have you back, bud. Okay. Did I miss anybody? I got a text that I missed people. I thought I got everybody, but still got 33 people in here. Anybody have any questions? Stupid Fast Truck says you lose the LTR when you put the chiller in. What does that mean? LTR. All right, Des. We'll see you later. RS3 for me says his wife is Vietnamese. That's cool. Low Toy Doctor 88, low temp radiator. You guys are talking to each other. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have the I have the same last name as your stepdaughter. Is was that comment for me? RS3 for me? All right, you guys LTD. I lose the LTD. Well, I don't know what LTD means. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm not on the ball, but I'm not following you on that one. It's all right. It's me. I'm having one of those days. The heat exchanger. Oh, okay. It was a comment for somebody else. By the way, guys, stupid fast truck reminds me of something. Uh, I don't have a heat exchanger in my car anymore. With the Killer Chiller kit, okay, it I chose to use the one that does not have the diverter valve, and it eliminates the heat exchanger. And I have to tell you, with all the hardware that I've installed on that car, you know, the Whipple, all the hoses, all the fluids, the heat exchanger, the pump, the tank, and all that stuff, I felt the weight in front of the car. Okay. When I put the chiller on it and took the heat exchanger out, I immediately noticed that the front end of the car was lighter. And it was a welcome change because the car was getting nose heavy and I didn't like it. You know, it still feels a little nose heavy, but it's not too bad. Voodoo 350. All right. Thanks for stopping in, man. I'll see you next time. LTR means low temp radiator. Okay. Thanks. I'll remember that. How much horsepower did I pick up with the Killer Chiller? 50 horsepower. Uh, both dyno tests were done on a 90-degree day. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think the closed hood pulls, I went from something like 614 to 673. And that was closed hood. Okay. The reason why I did a closed hood because it was real world. When I did open hood, I did 683. There wasn't much of a difference between closed hood and open hood, and that's because the chiller was doing all the work. Let me see. RS3 says I'm doing a better job keeping up with comments. Thanks, man. I got the computer a little close. I got it in a little better spot. The lighting is a little bit better. I came a little bit better prepared. Lentil Dodd asked me what size pulley. I'm running a 4-inch pulley. It makes about 9 pounds of boost. Halo Nigel asked me, is this my first live stream? No, this is my third time. The first time I did it, I was just sitting here with nothing to do, and I figured, let me do it. And that turned out to be kind of fun. So I do this every once in a while. When I have stuff to talk about, you know, I'll just throw up a live stream. Todd Ray asked me, what's the highest radiator temps I've seen in traffic? Well, I don't have a temperature gauge that tells you the actual temperature. All I've got is the thing that, you know, sits in the middle. If it's in the middle, it's where it's supposed to be. I look at my cylinder head temperatures mainly because that's all I could read. And I see maybe 215. I've got a Mishimoto radiator in the car, you know, big 4-core aluminum radiator and 170-degree thermostat. In traffic, however, the fan settings is what controls all of that. So whatever Whipple's got in their tune is what they got. I don't really know what they are, but I see my cylinder head temperatures climb to about maybe 215 at most. I'd be damned 3 times his charm. Okay. Anything else? Anything anybody want to ask me? All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. If anybody wants to ask me anything, I'm going to wrap this up and call it a night. It's been over an hour. It's been great. It's a lot of fun. Let me see. Anybody ask me? I'm always afraid that I miss something. Lentil Todd asked me, why don't I use a 3.5 pulley? I don't have enough octane for that. That would be way too much boost. and I'm not sure that I could get away with that with my combination of parts. If you're running a 3.5 pulley, is that, so you have an F-150 supercharged stage two. What year is your truck? Um, I don't. I mean, I don't know how you actually achieve that. Are you still running cats? You running E85? I be damned. Nitto 552 G2 just slapped them on. Not too impressed. They're a good street tire though. Uh, so you're on 93 and you run it. How much boost are you making? I mean that sounds that's pretty amazing. I'd like to know how you do that. So Dr. 88, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Stupid Fast Truck says on a Gen 3, that's too much boost with the stock exhaust. Seems that way to me. That sounds like a lot of boost on 93 on a Gen 3 with cats. Lendl Todd says 18. That's the truck that you have. So you have a Gen 3 and you're running a 3.5 pulley on 93. I don't know how you do it, bro. Flag me on Instagram, Coyote Car Guy, one word. Explain it to me. I'm very interested to know how you did that. So RS3 for me asked me, here's a question. What kind of tires are you running in the rear? I'm running the Mickey Thompson ET Street Rs. Okay. 305 45 17s. The lowest I put the tire pressures was 18 pounds. And a friend of mine dropped his to 15 pounds and he started breaking cords in his tires at that point. So I'm a little reluctant to go lower than that. Halo Nigel, have a good night. Nice to have you in here. Thanks for stopping in. Ivy Dam Running Street. I'm a Bridgestone guy. Okay, cool. Leonard Dodd, I don't have stock. Okay, guys. Anything else anybody wants to ask me? It's getting a little late. It's been a great live stream, and so I'm going to sign off. So it was nice to talk to all of you guys, and we'll catch you later.